So you want to know what the weather is really like in Dallas, Texas. In this video, we're going to talk about the winters. Does it snow here? The different seasons. We'll talk some about the storms. And of course, we have to talk about the summer and how hot it really gets here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm Keela McGraw, your favorite Fort Worth, Texas realtor. And when people are considering relocating to the area, it can be overwhelming, and we are here to kind of ease your doubts, educate you on what it's really like to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And of course, if you're considering moving to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you need to consider what is the weather really like and what is it like living here from January to December. It's probably one of the most frequent questions that I'm asked, so let's dig in. As the saying goes, if you don't like the weather in Texas, just wait about 15 minutes. So when it comes to the weather and climate in the DFW area, one area that you need to really know about are the temperatures, especially in those summer months. So yes, it does get pretty warm, or I should say hot, here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, especially in the summer. So our hottest months, July and August, have an average temperature of about 96 degrees. So of course that 96 degree average temp varies from day to day, but we get about 20 plus days of 100-degree weather. That can be a dramatic difference if you're moving from like up north near like Chicago or New York or Maine, but just know we do average some really high temps in the summers. So actually in 2022, we had 47 days of 100 plus degree weather. That is a lot. That is double our average number of 100 plus degree temperatures. So the summer of 2022 was one of our hottest, and we broke a lot of records. So I don't want the heat to scare you off. The summer heat can be somewhat unbearable when we do have those 100 plus degree days. So just know that in those days where it is 100 plus degrees, you're not going to be outside. The news is going to share, if it's a hot day that you need to be on the lookout for and not spend a lot of time outside. So just pay attention to what's going on, and you definitely need to have AC that works in your car and at home. We are not one of those cities or states where you cannot have AC. You need to have AC. In fact, when we do hit those severe summer high heat temp days, you'll see different charities and organizations donating air conditioning units to those who may not have AC in their homes, because it is a necessity that you have air conditioning in your home and in your car, honestly. So one of the perks of having warm days, a number of warm days, is I would say if you live here or you move here, a lot of folks have pools in their backyards, or they stay in a community with a community pool in the neighborhood, which makes sense because you have from about May to September to actually enjoy the water and really cool off on some of those really warm or hot days that you experience. So let's talk about the cold weather that we experience here in the Dallas area. And it does get cold. Definitely, we do have freezing temps or below freezing days. Our coldest months are actually December, January, and February. So a lot of people think that those winter temps really start in like November. No, they typically start really, I'd say even January is when we really start experiencing some of those low temps. And I don't know what it is, but here the past couple of years, February has just been like snowmageddon months. I don't know what's been going on, but we have experienced some pretty interesting snow days in February over the past years. So we average about 29 days where the temperatures drop below freezing, and in those times we're definitely, dripping our faucets, covering pipes, making sure our pool equipment is covered and well insulated, because you definitely don't want that disaster to happen with busted pipes. So you definitely want to prepare for those cold days, but it's not going to be like other parts of the country where they have months of sub-freezing temperatures. So one of the things that we do experience here in the Dallas area is hail. And it's one of those things where we can experience it in the winter time, we can experience it in the springtime, but hail does do some damage to our cars and to our roofs. So you just want to be aware of what that damage can do, and just know that we do have hailstorms. I was out with some clients the other day and there was just sleet just falling just in the middle of the day, and it was sunny. Just really weird. But yes, we do have hailstorms. So with hail, it can damage your roofs, and know that sometimes when you're driving through certain neighborhoods after we've had a major storm, you'll see multiple roofing companies with their signs in the yard just really trying to get the business of replacing your roof or repairing your roof after a storm. So just know that yes, hail can do damage, and you just have to be ready for it. It's just a part of life here. And of course, we have to talk about tornadoes. We are in the southern tip of Tornado Alley, so we do get our occasional tornadoes. Nothing to freak out about. We do know that you're supposed to get into the most interior part of your home that does not have windows, and you just bunker down and listen to the news folks. The weather forecasters, they usually warn us if we are having a severe tornado alert or tornado warning. And so you usually have plenty of notice before you get hit with a tornado. But yes, we do have tornadoes here, and just be aware of that. So one of the great things about living in DFW is that there are around 230 sunny days a year. And just to put that in perspective, the US has an average of 205 sunny days, and we recently had a client that relocated from Seattle, and Seattle only averages about 150 sunny days a year. Dramatic difference. When you do live here, you will be able to enjoy a lot of sunny days, which honestly, it just helps our moods here. That's probably why we're so friendly here in Texas. And speaking of Seattle, where it rains quite a bit there, let's talk about precipitation. So the most common form of precipitation that you're gonna find in the DFW area is rain. Our rainiest months are May and October, and honestly, when it rains, it just feels like it rains really hard. It's usually not a soft mist or anything like that. It's usually in the form of a thunderstorm. We may have a few days where it's just a nice, easy rain, but it seems like when it does rain, it's in the form of a severe weather storm. So it doesn't really snow a lot here in the DFW area. If we do get snow, on average, it's about 1 inch a year, which I know is laughable when you come from one of the northeastern states. But on average, it's about just 1 inch. We do have a few cycles in there to where we might have a winter storm and we may get more than 1 inch, but typically not a lot of snow really. Typically, you're not going to have a white Christmas living here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so just be prepared for that. So what really gets us in the cold months when it comes to precipitation is when the snow or rain freezes. It's usually in the form of ice on the roads, and it really does create a problem here for us that need to travel to work or school. Honestly, the roads just are not safe when it's snowing in the DFW area. A lot of out-of-towners will actually make fun of us because everything shuts down in the city. Usually the schools are canceled. Sometimes if you do have to go into work, they may say you can come in later or just work from home. Just kind of depends on your job and occupation and what's allowed. But ice in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, with all of the many roadways that we have and the larger population that we're now experiencing, it's just not a safe place to be on the roads when there is ice there. One of the things that people notice when they do move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area is the amount of humidity that we have here. A lot of people are not expecting for it to be as humid as it is here, but Dallas is actually one of the more humid cities in our country. So it's not unbearable, but I will say compared to other cities, you're going to experience that humidity, and it's usually between 40 to 70% humidity, which is still less than Houston, our sister city, but just know that it is very humid here, and so it affects different things like your skin and your hair, so just be prepared for that. And out of all of the months in the year, May is our most humid month. And honestly, it makes sense because May is actually one of our most rainiest months of the year. So be prepared for high humidity days in the month of May. So according to the data, Dallas is actually more windy than the windy city of Chicago, which is very shocking. So a lot of people don't know, but Dallas is pretty windy. So the average wind speed in Dallas is about 10.5 miles per hour. And just to compare that to Chicago, Chicago's average wind speed is about 9.9 miles per hour. So Dallas for the win when it comes to windiness. So the windiest times in Dallas are going to be in the winter and in the spring. And the summer and fall months have the least windiest days, which actually in the summer, surprisingly, with the temperatures being as hot as they are, you really don't want hot air blowing on you. So we're okay if it's not windy in the summer. But on the flip side, it can be refreshing to get that little wind in your face, just for a little relief from those hot temperatures. Now the windiest month is in April with an average speed of 12.2 miles per hour. So that will be the time when you'll want to get your kites out and just really enjoy those spring temperatures at that time as well. So again, the weather is one of those frequently asked questions that we get when we're helping clients relocate to the area. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have questions about the weather or relocating to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, give us a call, email, or text, and we'll see you in the next video.